Hello and welcome to Sonder. My name is Maggie and I am a knitter, sewist, general crafter, and new doctor here in Denver, Colorado. You can see Sansa getting on the desk. So I am in a new location today. I am doing a lot of telehealth work right now, and as a result can kind of work from anywhere. And so right now I'm actually staying up at my husband's parents' house in Steamboat. Luckily, both of us grew up in Steamboat, and so it's a wonderful thing that we can come up here together and kind of spend some time with our families. And it has been so peaceful and so beautiful to be able to spend a little bit of time in the mountains. We always bring Yampa, our dog, and then if we're gonna stay for a little bit more of an extended time, we do bring Sansa up here as well. She does not like the car ride at all. She really hates the car ride, but once we're up here, she is a kitty who really, really loves to cuddle and be involved. And so I think it's better for her to kind of suffer through a 2.5-hour drive so that she can spend time with us throughout the rest of the week that we're here. So it's been a really peaceful week. I've spent a lot of time skiing and playing euchre and cribbage, and just connecting a little bit more with nature, which has been wonderful. And I think a lot of knitters, but I have always really, really loved the winter time. It is by far for me the most peaceful season, and getting to spend more of the winter up in the mountains is something that is incredibly special for me because it's so sunny and so bright, which is not the case, I think, for most winters. But here in Colorado, there's like 360 days of sunshine a year, or something crazy like that. It's very, very sunny and very beautiful. So it's been incredibly peaceful and necessary. In my last little episode, talked a little bit about what is going on in the United States right now, and I won't bring it up again because it's stressful, and I like this to be a place where we can come together and get a little bit of peace and a little bit of escape from that. But yeah, it's been a really stressful time, and so it's been amazing to be able to spend a little bit of time connecting and relaxing. I don't talk about this very often, but I think it's important to talk about because I am in healthcare, and lots of different people deal with various different kinds of issues. And so for me, I deal a lot with anxiety. I have generalized anxiety disorder, and so I get really anxious in a way that's very hindering to my life. And I think I don't talk about it very often here because I don't know who will watch this, but I do think it's important to talk about and kind of normalize it. So for me, it's been wonderful to be able to get a little bit of reprieve from the anxiety and connect with the earth here. Something that's come up for me this week is that I was diagnosed with COVID-19 at the end of November and beginning of January. Kind of spent the first or sorry, end of November and beginning of December, and spent the first week of December in quarantine. And in general, I feel much better after that, but the one thing that has really been hard for me is that my physical fitness was really, really impacted by getting COVID, and in a way that I've never really experienced before. Hold on, Yampa wants to come in and say hi. So yeah, what I was saying is that my physical fitness has been really impacted by getting COVID-19, and it's been really, really challenging for me to get back in the groove of exercise and not being anxious and worried about feeling short of breath. And so, you know, I think that what I'm really trying to do right now is reflect on the idea that, you know, I've been through a lot. It was a really rough start to the year and end to 2020, and I think I just need to be a little bit more gentle with myself, and recognizing that my body went through a lot, and I'm 30 now and probably don't bounce back quite as well as I once did. But yeah, so I'm trying to be more gentle with myself. I hope that you are trying to be more gentle with yourself as well. So yeah, let's start talking about the knitting and the crafting. For those of you who are new here, I generally talk a little bit about what's going on in my life at the very beginning, which is probably a bad order because I don't think most people care about it, but this is more a journal for myself. And so I can spend time reflecting, which is a word that I'm trying to focus on in 2021. But I'll generally talk about knitting and reading. Those are two things that I spend a lot of time doing. And so let's start off with what I'm wearing. So this is my Ghost Horses sweater, which is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter. Or Boylan Knitworks, and sorry about that, I'm getting like, people are trying to reach me. Anyway, so this is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and I have heavily modified it. I think I've talked about it before, but essentially I made it a long sleeve sweater and did this really long twisted rib cuff. This is knit out of two different kinds of yarn. So the light gray that you see is a rustic yarn from a farm here in Routt County, Colorado, which is the county that I grew up in. And so it's a really beautifully rustic but very soft, non-superwash worsted spun yarn. And then the colors that you see kind of evolving through the sweater is Spin Cycle, dyed in the wool in the Shades of Earth colorway, and then just a little bit of leftover of the Rusted Rainbow colorway. So I really love this sweater. It's a little bit looser than the pattern calls for, and I have done a split rib hem, and it's also a twisted rib hem, and it's really comfortable. I think that it's a great addition to my wardrobe, and I wear it a lot. So yeah, so I'm wearing this lovely sweater by Caitlin Hunter, and I will just jump into the very monogamous knitting that I have done, which is another sweater by Caitlin Hunter. So this is, you know, it's funny because I write it every time, but I can never remember the name of this sweater. Nordiska, I think. So this is a fingering weight sweater that's knit top down with a V-neck and kind of a drop sleeve, and then there's beautiful colorwork motif. And when I had last shown you this sweater, I had just joined to work in the round. So it's a V-neck sweater, so you knit it flat for quite a while to make that V-neck, and I think I was just, you know, about a centimeter into knitting in the round, and I have finished the color work. So for this sweater, it is a very cropped sweater, and I generally like to make things a little bit less cropped. It is still going to be cropped, but not quite as much as the pattern called for. Initially, the pattern calls for knitting the sweater and then knitting like 1 inch and jumping into the color work. But for me, I modified the pattern to knit about 5 inches and then jump into the color work. So this is knit out of Fiber for the People in her Polworth base, and the 2 colors I've used of hers are Leather, and then this contrast color is Harbor, and it is a really beautiful almost teal colorway with lots and lots of other colors in it as well. So here are the 2 Fiber for the People colors together, and then I've also used a mini from my advent calendar, which is Lambstrings wool. So these are the 2 colors that I've used so far in the body, and I will say it's a little bit less it is a little bit less contrast than I anticipated it being. So let me try to show this. It is pretty low contrast. There's a little bit more contrast in person than what is showing up there, but it's a little bit hard to show off. And at first I was kind of worried about how low contrast it is, because I do want, you know, it's all this work that you put in to the sweater and you want to be able to see it. But I do feel that it's a kind of beautiful low contrast where when you come up to it closer, you can see the details of the color work a little bit better. And when you're further away, it kind of just looks like this beautiful band of color. So I really, really love how this sweater is turning out. I'm excited to have another fingering weight sweater in my repertoire because I do end up getting quite warm. I'm already getting warm now. And so, yeah, it's a nice thing to have several different layers of weights of sweaters. And you can see I have a Simply Serving charm on here, which is actually a bottle of Skelligro from the Harry Potter series. So yeah, I am so thrilled, and I was just knitting on this like a crazy woman, and I just think it's gonna be such a beautiful, beautiful sweater. I really love the color. I don't have anything like this in my wardrobe right now. And I almost feel like it like shines. I don't know if that's the Polworth or what, but it's so, so beautiful, and I'm really, really excited. So the next things I have to do, I only have, because I knit the body so much longer, I only have this much left of the yarn. So I do think of the main color. So I do think I'm a little bit worried that I'll be doing a little bit of yarn chicken, but my plan now, all I have to do is do the ribbing, and then I think what I'm gonna do is actually pick up and knit the neckline first, so that that is knit in the main color, and then I'll knit the sleeves just kind of as long as I think I can. I might not be able to knit the full sort of 5 inches that I initially would have wanted to. I might have to do like 3 inches or something like that of just the stockinette before going into the color work. But it is a wonderful pattern. This is the 2nd time I have knit this pattern. The first time was a sweater that I knit for a friend of mine, and she loves it and wears it all the time, which brings me so much joy. But yeah, so honestly, that is the thing that I have been knitting on the most, because I am one of those people who, once color work starts, it is addictive for me. I just cannot stop. I love being able to see the color motif and the patterns come out. It's just really, really enjoyable. I have this in my little squirrel bag by Antler and Acorn, which I got as a gift a couple of years ago. And yeah, the next thing that I will show off is some socks that I have been knitting on. So I showed these off in the last episode, but I've been knitting on 2 different sock patterns. And the first one is Lambstring wool in her 2020 Saint Nick color sock set that I got, which these are the colors together. I really love this really, really bright red. And then this color is this beautiful neutral that then has little pops of Christmassy colors, which will be easier to see in the sock. So last time I showed this to you, I think I was about here. And so I've just knit a few inches of stockinette. And this colorway is absolutely gorgeous. I really love all the little pops of color that are coming out. It's really, really beautiful. And yeah, I've talked about this. This is just a vanilla sock with a little bit of intrigue. So it's 64 stitches. I just did a 1x1 rib, some stockinette, 2x2 rib, heel flap and gusset with a little garter ridge. And now I'm just knitting the toe, knitting until the toe. I think my plan right now is to do the toe in the bright red and I usually do a wedge toe because it's the first and only toe I ever learned, and I just do the same thing over and over. So yeah, I think these will be a beautiful pair of socks that I wear around Christmas, but I think that they are subtle Christmas socks and things I can get away with wearing for the rest of the year. The other pair of socks I have been working on are the Midnight Dancer socks by Sari Nordlund, who is an amazing Finnish designer. And these socks I am knitting out of the 31st of October colorway from my advent calendar this year. And it's a really beautiful blue with pops of purple and green. And I really, really love it. There's some pink in there as well. And so this is a sock that I've already showed off a little bit, but it has this really amazing ruffle. I just threw in a little bit of green accent right after the ruffle, and then I'm just knitting away on this sock. Now it's really just a stockinette sock. Sari Nordlund puts in her pattern various different ways to knit the sock, but I'll probably do my tried and true heel flap and gusset and then wedge toe. So yeah, I really, really love this. I think it's so feminine and beautiful and something that I will definitely get a lot of wear out of once it's done. Poor Sansa. She really wants to cuddle and be involved, and I want to get this filmed and up. I have a little tale of woe. It's not a huge tale of woe, not a huge issue, but I have not been able to work on my Kess cardigan by Meri Tanaka at all because I did not bring the right needle size to cast on the second bit. So following Andrea Mowry's curled or rolled, I think this is what you're called, just like tubular cast on for 1x1 rib, you do start off with a smaller needle size, and I, like a doofus, only brought this needle size, and so, which is like the main needle size for the rest of the cardigan. And so I haven't been able to work on this at all, but I'm still absolutely obsessed and very excited to cast on the next side. So hopefully next week I'll have a lot more of that to show off to you. I just thought I would mention that that's why I have not been working on it. The only other crafty thing that I wanted to show off is that when my grandmother died a few years ago, she was someone I was incredibly, incredibly close to. And her sister, my Aunt Dee, died when I was a child. But I was also incredibly close with her. And we were looking through some of my grandmother's old jewelry, and we found my Aunt Dee's, we found her charm bracelet, which is a charm bracelet that she put together from all of her travels with my grandma Barb. And it's funny because we were looking at this, and I was looking at all the like beautiful memories that this must hold for my great aunt and my grandma. And it's such a beautiful, I mean, all of these little charms that she collected are absolutely so fun and whimsical. And so I'm actually planning on taking the charms off of this charm bracelet and making some really beautiful stitch markers and progress keepers and things like that, so that I can put them on my knitting and remember my Aunt Dee and my Grandma Barb. I just thought that was so cool, and I'm excited to make them and then be able to put them on all my knitted stuff. So you'll be hopefully seeing those coming here shortly. So that is all the crafting talk I have today, and now I'm going to move on to talking a little bit about the books that I have been reading. So I have 4 books to talk about. I finished reading 2 books this week, which has been a surprise. So the first book I finished reading is Legenborn by Tracy Deonn, and I'll put up a picture of this amazing novel because I don't have it here because I've already lent it to someone and they are reading it and loving it. So Legenborn is a incredible young adult fantasy that is a King Arthur Knights of the Round Table retelling. So essentially what happens in this novel, just to give you a little hook, is that Bree, a young woman, she comes to UNC Chapel Hill as a 16-year-old to partake in kind of a early college program. And on her first night there, she witnesses a magical attack, and it's something that she should not be able to see. And then they try to erase her memory, and her memory is not as hard to erase as you would expect. And then it's just about her connecting with and getting drawn into this secret society in which there's magic and intrigue and adventure and fighting against evil spirits and things like that. It is absolutely incredible. It has it all. It has discussions on race and privilege and so many different aspects of what it means to be Black in America. And as a white person, that was something that was so amazing to read about. It is fun, it is fast-paced, it deals with grieving the death of a mother, it deals with fantasy. Oh, it's so good. I loved it. And then there's also just like this amazing love triangle. I think that it is the beginning to a new series because it does leave you on kind of a cliffhanger. So I'm excited to find out what happens in the second book, and I will pick it up immediately when it comes out. So yes, I definitely gave it 5 out of 5. It was so fun. It was so fast paced. It was absolutely amazing, and I'm obsessed, and I want everyone to read it. So if you're looking for a really fun fantasy that's fast-paced, I would highly recommend Legenborn by Tracy Deonn. The second book that I finished this week is The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel, and this is the author of Station 11, which is another beautifully written book, but this book follows a brother and sister and various other people that they meet in the course of their lives. And it is really just a beautiful, character-driven story about these people and their mark on the world. And it is absolutely beautiful. I think the thing about this book is it's very different from Legenborn in that it's not very fast-paced. There is definitely a mystery that centers around a woman who has gone missing, but that is such a small part of the book. It really is just a novel about family and greed and drug addiction and art. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. I highly recommend this. I did give it, I believe, a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was absolutely beautifully written, and it incorporates the point of view of many different characters, and so it's a really interesting it's really interesting to be able to see all of those different characters kind of interact with one another. So The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel, so beautiful, so amazing, and if you're looking for a beautifully written, character-driven story, I would highly recommend this. The next 2 books that I'm going to talk about are books that I am currently reading. So the first one is a book that I am listening to, and I highly recommend listening to it because this is an incredible audiobook, and that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And I'm forgetting the author right now, but I'll put a picture of it up. And so this is a novel. It's a murder mystery thriller that follows a young woman who is 17 or 18, and for a school project she is deciding to investigate a murder that happened in her town many years before. It is an incredible audiobook. It has a full cast of characters, and each chapter, it incorporates a lot of her interviews and things like that as she investigates this crime. And the interviews, like if it's a phone interview, they will make it sound like she's on the phone and things like that. And so, and if it's recording, like it'll make it sound a little bit muffled as if she's actually recording. And so it is such a fun audiobook, and I'm so into it. And I definitely don't think the person did it, but they could have. It's great. I'm really, really enjoying it. So if you're looking for another like fast-paced murder mystery thriller, I highly recommend this. It is so good. It is giving me all of the like Serial vibes, like Serial season 1, Adnan Syed vibes. I'm like here for it. So I'm really enjoying that. We'll be listening to that a little bit more as I drive back and forth between Denver and Steamboat. And then the second book I just started reading yesterday, and I am only about 45 pages into this book, but this is Outlawed by Anna North, and holy shit, I'm also obsessed with this book. My reading game in the beginning of 2021 has actually been fucking amazing. Like, all the books I'm reading, I feel like are so good. So this is it is a Western feminist novel. It is about a young woman who is married when she is in her late teens, early 20s, and she is not able to have a baby within the first year. She isn't able to even get pregnant within the first year with her husband. And where she's from in the American West in like the 1800s, a lot of women are hanged as witches if they are not able to get pregnant or if they have a miscarriage. And so she kind of runs away from her home in order to avoid being called a witch and killed for witchcraft. And her mother were working as midwives in their community. And so she's really interested in fertility and childbirth and things like that. And she decides to join a group of outlaws who are living in the American West and trying to make a better and safe place for people who have been outcast by society for various different reasons. It is fast-paced, it's beautiful, it's really thought-provoking, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I mean, I'm also from the American West, and so I think for me, they're talking about places that I've been to and that I grew up near, and like, there was a point just now where they were talking about Pagosa Springs, and I'll just read this a little bit. I dropped the book on Sister Tom's desk. "Where's Pagosa Springs?" I asked. "Out west in the mountains near Ute country," she said. "Why?" Which is amazing because I live in Ute country. So the Yampa Valley, Yampa is a Ute word. This is Ute country where I am right now. And Ute is a tribe of Native Americans. And so it's just been really fun to read a book that is written about where I grew up, and obviously in a very different world, but I also think it's just, oh, I'm loving everything about it. It's like adventure and fun and quirky and super feminist and super lefty. I think that it talks about trans issues, about other LGBTQIA issues, femininity, fertility, all of these things. It's really, really excellent. I am absolutely obsessed and very excited to finish reading this wonderful novel. So if you have not picked up Outlawed by Anna North and it is anything that sounds even remotely interesting to you, I highly recommend. I will say too that I am not someone who reads a lot of Westerns. Like, I actually think this is the first time I have ever picked up a Western. It is not even a type of movie that I am super interested or excited about. I think like I watched True Grit and loved that movie, but other than that, have not really been that interested in any other Western. So even if you are not a Western reader like me, I think that this is something that you will absolutely love. So Outlawed by Anna North, highly recommend. So that is all that I have to talk with you today. At the end of the episode, I'll just incorporate some footage that I took during the week. I did some really fun activities this week. I've done quite a bit of skiing and started off the week actually going on a wonderful backcountry tour with some of my friends. So I'll show some footage of that, as well as just general what I've been getting up to. So just some beautiful moments from my life this week. So I hope that you are doing well. I hope that everything is, you know, getting better for you. You know, 2020 is such a strange time, and 2021 is not going to instantly get better, even though it would be great if it did. But I think that we are on the right trajectory. I think things are getting a little bit better, and I hope that you are just being gentle with yourself and understanding that this has been a really, really tough year for everyone. And so we all just need to take a deep breath and recognize that, and, you know, be there for each other as we navigate this crazy, crazy time in human history. So with that, I am gonna end it there, but I will hopefully see you again next week, and hopefully have a little bit more progress on my Kess cardigan. That's something that I'm really excited to work on more this week. So take care of yourselves, take care of others, and know that I'm here. All right, bye. Show me those Willy Blues. Oh, oh, oh!
Hold on, wait for it. There he is.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's what happens when you have really thick skis.
Sure, blame it on the skis. Holy shit, this is gorgeous. No, we can't with our bindings.
It's snowing.
Yippa, what are you doing, bud? You having fun? Yippa, come here. Come here.
Alaska.
Oh, really?
Got on some nice, really cool areas. Yeah, that was in the spring.
I really do want to do more of the courses.
Yeah.
Tank for the children.
Tank for the children, y'all. Ah!
You guys can be on Maggie's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
No.
You're not gonna narrate the video?
The snow slowly falls.
Oh my god! Wait! I just remembered.
Really?
Well, you made.
Let's go, Yampa, come on! Oh. Yampa, Yampa, Yampa! All right.
Hey, Trumpers have proven it doesn't matter if you're telling the truth or not. It just matters that you tell it often enough.
But do we want to take that?
For cribbage win, yes.
Your dad's just scared I'm gonna skunk him.
I'm not gonna get skunked. Oh, mine not gonna get skunked.
Well, this is a shit hand. Classic.
Oh, this could be a little bit hard to decide. This may take a while. Now that I look at things.
Because it's so good.
They say you should hang on to your points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got a dilemma there because it's the same number of points, but what's the better opportunity? Oh, that might be the way to go. Or I could do. Oh man, if this works out, this will be incredible.
What happened?
I needed a card for that all to work out.
Oh no. Okay. 3.
11.
21.
31 for
2.
Coming up the outside. 9.
10.
18. Catching up to you, I'm pointing.
You are. Okay. So I got 15-2, 15-4, and 4 is 8.
$15-2, $15-4 to pair for 6.
Respectable.
Could have been a lot better.
I gave you like 8 and 9 or 7 and 8 or something like that.
15-2. Oh, Lord. 15-2. 15-2.
Where are you even getting 15-2?
A 10 and a 5.
Got it.
15-2. Dang. There's one card I need.
Nibs for 2. 17.
23.
23. 28.
30.
Go. 10.
17.
27 for go.
I'm screwed.
Yep.
But I do have 15-2, 15-4, and a pair for 6.
That's right. I have 15-2, 15-4, 15-6, 15-8, and 2 is 12. Oh, I only
10.
needed 2.
2 is 10.
2 is 10, sorry.
Do you want to count them again?
Yeah, sure. So I have 15-2, 15-4, 15-6, 15-8. 2 is 10, pardon me. Oh, I only needed 2. What else do I have? Let's see. 15-2. The rest won't do.
Okay, that's one game,
Good
out
game.
of a series of 3 that will be happening.